Hello and welcome to a special edition of Diaspora Weekly, the live version of it. Today it's live. Further down, we're going to open the phone line so you'll be able to call in. Today I have two great friends of mine who are not exactly bashful about expressing their opinion. And so because I know them in that capacity, I invited them here for us to talk about two things that have happened in the last 3 months or so. Elections have happened in Ghana and they've happened in United States. And they turned out differently. And so for those of us who have ties between those two countries, some of us are born and raised here, we live the majority of our life back in the States. So we want to get together to talk about what these two elections mean to Ghana, United States, and actually the rest of the world. But as usual, before you meet my guests, I have to give you the jangle. They have opinions, I have some of mine, and the only time I get to express my opinion is through the jangle. So stay tuned for the jangle and we'll be right back. All right, so in today's jangle, I want to keep it very simple. If you look at the map of Africa, you would notice that the Sahara Desert is creeping downwards. It's creeping southwards. Do you know why? Because we're cutting our trees down. Right now, you live in Ghana, you can get to sit under the tree, enjoy the breeze, and enjoy the shade and everything. But at the rate that the world is going with climate change, if we don't combat it, not only are we not doing what we need to do to combat climate change by planting trees and everything, we're actually cutting them down. And it's not us cutting them down for our use. So we've allowed other people from other countries to come in and cut our trees down. I'm sure you've seen the videos around. The chiefs in the villages who don't know, and I'll say it, if I get in trouble, I don't care. Some of them don't even know how to brush their teeth. They sell lands to foreigners without even measuring. And these people come in, cut our trees down, take the gold out. They're going to build their countries with them. When this place becomes a desert, they are gone. We're the ones who will deal with it. If you've seen pictures of the Sahara Desert where people walk for miles and not get water to drink, not see one single tree, you think it's somebody else's problem. Very soon, it'll become Ghana's problem. Imagine living in Kumasi or Tamale or Accra. When you look around, you don't see any trees because the desert has set in. I don't mean to scare you, but that is where we're going if we don't go back, okay? If we don't start to, one, plant trees and stop others from cutting our trees down. Right now, River Pryor and Ankobra, when you drive by them, they look like clay. Why? Because they've messed it up. It's not their land. Why should they care? And those of us who own the land, we don't care. We sell it to them for cheap. And they're cutting it down, and nobody is saying anything about it. We may die and go, but our grandchildren, think about that. Be right back to meet my guests. Stay tuned.
As the national regulator of the communications industry in Ghana, the National Communications Authority seeks to ensure an environment that is safe and fair for consumers and service providers. NCA grants licenses and authorizations for operation of communication systems and services, develops guidelines to streamline communication activities, establish and monitor quality of service indicators for operators and service providers. NCA is in 8 regions: Accra, Tamale, Takoradi, Kumasi, Ho, Koforidua, Sunyani, and Bolgatanga. Do you have unresolved complaints with the service providers? Contact us on 0800110662, 0307011419 between the hours of 8 o'clock a.m. and 5 o'clock p.m. from Monday to Friday, or visit our website at www.nca.org.gh and follow the procedure for filing a complaint or submitting enquiry. National Communications Authority, communications for development.
Hello and welcome back. Finally, you get to meet my amazing guest. I'll start from my right here, Mr. Kwabena Manu, right? AKA Pancho. Now, if anybody calls himself Pancho, tell him right now, I say it's fake. That's the real Pancho. NPP USA returning from New York. Welcome, Kwabena.
Thank you.
Very good. And then next to Kwabena, I have Kwame Champon. These are old timers. Kwame Champon is a policy analyst from Texas, also NPP USA returnee. Both of these gentlemen were doing great things back in the States, but they've left it all to come back home to help with nation building. They have frustrations. But today we're going to have all these frustrations aside and talk about what happened in the two elections that happened right here in Ghana first. Actually, it happened in the United States first,
Yes.
and then it happened in Ghana. Well, most people thought that because United States made a change, Ghana was going to make a change. Some of us believed that's not going to happen, and it didn't happen. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about Ghana first, and then after we finish, we'll talk about United States, right?
Yes.
Leading into the election, first and foremost, what was your assessment of the NPP administration under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo? Let me start with you, Kwame.
Very good. I mean, looking back in 2016, the way the elections took place in Ghana and the overwhelming support and the volume, the number of votes that Nana Akufo-Addo obtained, I mean, with the NPP, we were all excited and we were talking to ourselves back in the United States, NPP is going to be there for another 40 years. That was our assessment with joy. Nana also did well, as soon as he came through, he put all the team. Nana, just as much as I know him, he felt it's better for him to allow these individuals he has appointed to just go on, because Nana is the type he steps back and let you just make your own decisions as ministers and things like that. He opened up, added more ministries, and did the best for the country. All the other important policy areas he mentioned, especially senior high school, free senior high school education. Of course, yes. In the 60s, Nkrumah introduced that, but it was just limited to the Northerners. What about those of us here in the South? But Nana, in his own vision, realized that, no, at this time around, just everybody should go to school for free. Just like in the United States. Our kids go to high school, they don't have to pay anything. But incidentally, they stay with us. And then we take them to schools in the morning, pick them up in the evening. If you choose to go to the boarding school, of course, most of them are private schools. And then you just go there. But unfortunately, for some reason, all the good things under Nana's administration, our president, for some reason, through the judgment of Ghanaian voters, what we're not expecting didn't really happen.
Okay. So let me ask you, Kwabena, and by the way, I like the names Kwabena and Kwame.
Yes, sir.
Because they're very personal. My close friends, I use those compound names.
Yes, sir.
Kwabena, in politics, you and I know it's one thing to do the right thing. It's another thing for the electorate to see that what you're doing is the right thing. Where did we go wrong with that?
Jermaine, personally, I think that the Ghanaian voters just wanted to prove to Ghanaians that this time around they are not stupid. They were going to vote that skirt and blouse. We've heard about skirt and blouse numerous times. I was with the son of Mr. Amponsa, Amwati Amponsa. He said, "Oh, Pancho, this time, no, you better timukura nana benya bebre." And I'm so Amwati nana be win it. He's going to win, but we are not going to maintain the margin that he got in 2016.
Yeah.
He didn't believe me, and I said, "You watch it, it's going to happen." Because you see, Ghanaians had become so fed up with some of our ministers, some of our parliamentarians, some of the government officials. You know what? You go through town and you see all these 4x4s, Prados, Land Cruisers, and everybody is just making noise just to
But how
pass.
was that different from NDC? NDC did the same thing.
You know what?
And some will say that's why they voted them out, right?
I don't know, but maybe the attitude with some of our members, some of our officials, was a little different. I didn't live here when the NDC was here, but I've been here since 2017, and just sometimes the way they do it, why don't you just call for a dispatch rider to lead you? Why those sirens in the trucks? I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's just an eyesore.
Okay.
And I'm glad the Kade MP lost his seat, because it was on social media the other time when he got out of his car telling people, do you know me?
Yeah.
Who cares about who you are if you are an MP? If you want to get to Parliament House in time or on time, you leave your house early enough. That's what we do in the United States. You know you have a meeting at 9 o'clock, you leave them around 7:45. If you know your ride is about 20 minutes, just giving you time to make up just in case there's traffic.
Yeah.
So you know what? I am glad a lot of MPs lost.
Okay.
I am so glad
that would be
to teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
To teach them a lesson.
But do you think we will learn? This is not the first time that we've lost power.
Jermaine, I think this time we are going to learn.
Yes.
Okay.
I contested the Nsuta Kwamai constituency in 2004 and 2008.
Wow.
When I left in 2004 to go back to the States, we had a mini Congress at Hostos Community College. And I stated this case that the system of electing our parliamentarians was not democratic enough.
Okay.
It has to be all card-bearing members.
OMOV, which is something that came from MPP
Yes,
USA.
one member, one vote. That will help. And
That
I
will
think
help.
this time
and
they
I
are going
think
to
right now that is gaining a lot of
currency.
acceptance within the MPP circles. But let me come back to you, Kwame. You being a policy analyst, it's not surprising to me that you've zeroed in on policy. Look, let's take one, free SHS, for example, okay? I'm a fisherman on the coasts of Central Region. The reason that I don't send my kids to school is because I want them with me on the ocean fishing. And the excuse that I've given them is that I don't have the money to take you to school, send you to school. Now with free SHS, you've taken that excuse from me. So maybe I'm already pissed off at you. Something that's supposed to be good for everybody. Can you see why even that, some fisher folks weren't happy, and they told us that. And there are people who use their kids for farming for different reasons. Now you're going to send them to school, he can't farm. Could that have been the, I mean, I'm sure you can mitigate with the effective communication to let them know the eventual benefit and everything, but did our policies help or hurt us in as much as they were good for the general future of the country?
Certainly, Jermaine, I think you have really hit the nail right at the head. Certainly. In terms of education, not all across the country that we can say that a lot of people really understand the importance of education. I would take my mother as an example. My mother was born in 1914 at Agona Ashanti. But for some reason, she saw that her junior brother was sent to school. He became a school teacher and then later on became SDA pastor. He could read, he could write. My mother, as a girl, yeah, you little girl, let's find your husband. Sit down there, you just, you know, make sure we keep our family moving. In as much as my mother loved that, at the same time, he said, no, school is important.
Okay.
And she made sure her kids, grandkids, well educated. Today, if you happen to be in my hometown, Agona Ashanti, he has a name everywhere.
Yeah.
You see dentists, doctors, a bunch of them. So with her telling her, Suku.
And they call it Suku.
Yeah, Suku. I remember when they had her 90th birthday. And my mother had never seen a cake before, because when we were little kids, there's no birthday party and cake. I don't even know what it is.
I've never for a tot to eat.
Yes, it's a cake. Incidentally, the MC said, Mamia, this is your day. I want you to tell everybody here what is on your mind or what do you think they should do. My mother grabbed the speaker in tree. Obia mohanyina obia enti awofo mesremo suku.
There you go.
Obia obewa kwara bia manon ko school. Se omo papa no niska ni bia muma no aboso no mon kese.
But why do you think some uneducated people see value in education but some don't?
It depends. It depends, you know, where people might be.
Yeah.
But so when you're talking about even the coast, Cape Coast, all those areas here, education have been there a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I just you mentioned about the fishermen.
That's the education capital of
yes.
Okay.
All the best, you know, scholars, those who were running the ministries, the civil servants, most of them were most of people along the coast.
Adisco, Fanspam and all
from Winneba, Efutu, all the way to the Fantin area. Ashantis maybe we were farming, you know, we're busy in our cocoa farms, but at the moment they accepted school.
Yeah. So in talking about the performance, Kwabena, you've worked close with the newly created railway ministry. Would you like to tell us, because when they told us about some of the stuff that they've done, it's phenomenal. I haven't even heard of them before. But train, in as much as you've spent a lot of money building these lines, you can show it. We haven't seen the people have not walked into the train before. So do you think they believed that those developments were really going on?
Jermaine, you know, I'm not at the railway sector anymore.
Okay.
I'll tell you this much. I don't think they promoted it well enough.
Okay.
They did not promote it well enough. But let me go back to when you said did the policies work?
Okay.
If it wasn't because of the free SHS, Nana Akufo-Addo won't be in power today. As much as Ashanti region helped him, I would say thank you to Ashanti region. But people really took that to be a big achievement on his part. A lot of people didn't have money to send their kids or children to school. So that alone really propelled him. The other ministers, the MPs, they thought that because of the great work that Nana had done.
We were on cruise control.
Yes, everybody was on cruise control. It was going to propel everyone around him also to the top. And that's not how you do politics.
That's a very important point, because they associate free SHS was big, but they associated it with Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president.
Yes.
So they didn't see you, the MP, as the reason for the free SHS. So their expectation from you, the MP, is different.
Yes, exactly.
Look, we have DCEs who are officially charged with developmental work within the area. But in Ghana today, still, people look at the MP, say, you are the one going to come, even though your job is legislative work. But when you were campaigning, you say, vote for me, I'll do ABC. So let's try and sum this up. Where did we go? If you were to put your finger on one thing, what would it be?
I can tell you this. The constant turnover of the MPs is not good for our party, it's not good for our country.
Okay.
I'll give you a typical example, because I've been teaching the American political system, you know, the various universities and the community colleges for so long. What is happening in the United States is that when they elect you, they give you the opportunity to stay there and get mature for a long time. And that longevity, sincerely speaking, if you are serious.
But your seat is still not guaranteed, even there.
Yeah, it's still not guaranteed, because they have to see things that you do. I can give you an example like Sheila Jackson Lee. She took over from Craig Washington. Craig Washington, yes, when Vicky Leland died in Ethiopia. Craig was there just for one term, 2 years. The guy was not very serious. You want to go into Parliament, Congress. You want to do anything. You know why? This woman was able to mount a powerful campaign. At that time, she was coming from the city council, won the elections. 1974, she's still there. And I quite remember
1994.
when... Yes, 1994. See, they are serious, even with the COVID-19 in America. It was free in Houston, Harris County, where we live in Texas. This woman was every day going to almost every place, begging people to go there and get tested for free. You don't have to pay.
You know, I tell you what, we'll get to that when we get to the US segment, because
yes,
I have a lot to say about what you just said about the free test.
I'll finish with that. So my conclusion is that the turnover, you walk into the parliament today, I'm not against the youth, but they are very young folks. Some of them don't even know why they are there. They just want to be MPs. Because there's a gratia, there's this and this, every 4 years we can make some money, this and this and that. So they don't really know.
Some will say that those are more in touch with today's youth. Ghana's population is about what, 50%? The youth is a good chunk of it.
Yes, John.
So why shouldn't the young people represent them in parliament? Why should it always be old people?
No. There's nothing wrong. You go in there as a young man, and then with time you mature. There's nothing wrong.
But that flies in the face of democracy, though. On the one hand, you're telling people, go there every 4 years, come back. If you do a good job, we'll return you. Yeah. So maybe it's not, it is due to their own performance that they're not being returned, because it's democracy. We have to vote for the best candidate. And so no seat is assured. So why is longevity an issue now?
If we can go back, just your own research, the last since 1992, every 4 years, they are there. Go find out how many of these MPs even get a time to go there.
Yeah.
And, be part of the various issues that they discuss in Parliament. Very few.
Okay.
Most of them were very late. Either they don't even go, they don't show up. The excuse might be, well, I'm a regional minister as well. I'm in Bolgatanga. I'm MP over there. He's up there.
So you're saying, if you were to put a finger on why the election went the way they did, you think that the tenure, the longevity, the need for longevity, I'm trying to
I think, we don't really want to force. This is a democracy.
Okay.
It's always moving. And therefore, we can assume that that is the case.
Okay.
The only thing, our party, I'm not worried about the other guys. What we need to do is just move. It is very important. I think we must be able to give majority, like in my constituency, Afisa Secretary East. Let's give everybody, especially say those who are leaning towards our party and those who actually will take our party card for that they are members. We should give them an opportunity to vote, not just delegates.
Okay.
That delegates is killing us.
Okay. All right. So, Kwamna, what went wrong?
In the parliamentary elections, the fact that the party executives were trying to impose candidates on their constituents did us in. You cannot do that. Longevity has its place, but it comes with performance.
Yes.
If you perform, the constituents will retain you. How dare you go tell somebody that Formina Hadie, Sebi, you're going 4 years, 4 years. You're going 4 years, 4 years. It is wrong. It is wrong, Jermaine. You know what? You leave the
competition.
Yes, we live in a democratic society. Leave the parliamentarians to fight it out during the primaries.
May the best
and
person
whoever
win.
wins.
Yeah.
I mentioned Kade. He didn't run. He lost in the primaries. Let me correct myself. I'm happy he lost in the primaries.
Right.
And Alex Ajari won.
Won, right.
So I am happy. If we continue to leave the parliamentarians to contest during the primaries, and whoever wins, wins. And then once they stand or we present them for the general elections, the constituents will vote massively for them.
Yeah, because you had situations where NPP supporters were actively campaigning against the NPP candidate because their favorite person was mafiaed out.
Jimmy, let me even go to Akwetia. I must say, this is a lady who beat Baba Jamal in the elections to become an MP. Then one term around, you come back to tell us that she doesn't speak English, she's illiterate, so therefore somebody else should run. Those who made those decisions should be taken out of office. If we know the executives who really push for such a move, they should all maybe even resign.
Yeah.
They need to resign.
A similar thing happened in Navrongo, Kofi Eda.
Kofi Eda.
He has won the seat for a long time. I think he lost it for 4 years, but he won it back.
Yes.
Minister of Aviation. And then they, for some reason, I don't know what happened there, but they had the regional minister run, and the regional minister went and lost the seat for MPP. Both of you, I'm going to pitch this idea. Let me know what you think before we go on the next the next break. There is a way to solve this problem, and I'm proud to say that I've put out a proposal. During the primaries, like right now we have 137 sitting MPs. Have one day where all 137 sitting MPs face their constituency votes, internal constituency vote, yes or no, okay? And put the bar at, say, 60%. If the voting electorate vote you 60%, say, yes, we want you to, then we will insulate you from primary competition. But if you fail to get the 60% yay, then we open you up for competition. Then there's a second day where the whole nation votes for primaries for the remaining 200. So let's say 137. Let's say 80 of them get the 60% vote. Then now you have 57 sitting MPs who are now going to be exposed to primary competition. What that does is the well-performing MPs will be retained. Exactly. That takes care of the longevity that we're looking for. Yeah. And those who did not perform, the 57, face primary competition. Maybe out of that, maybe 20 of them will still win anyway, right? That gives the chance to everybody to be able to compete. What do you think about that?
It's a good idea. It's a very good idea. Then it ties in with the
OMOF. One member, one vote. Okay.
Because I'm looking at my sister.
Yeah.
She has never voted in the primaries before.
Look at
she
that.
She sits at Agona Ashanti, and then they bring some young, because there's a
gentleman. And don't forget the cocoa season mentality. The delegates, the election come, this is how cocoa season.
This is where we are going to make money.
Yeah.
That's the right time for them to make money.
And so
that got to go.
So let's look at some numbers, Kwabna. If the constituency voting population is maybe 100,000, right? Now you have maybe 700 people who are deciding who should run. But if in the case of OMOF, within that 100,000, maybe 56,000 are MPP sympathizers. And out of that, maybe 40,000 will be actual registered voters, right? So now you have 40,000 people deciding between you and Kwabna who should represent us. So you don't have enough money to pay for to 40,000 people.
Everybody.
So it takes the money out of the equation. Period. OMOF, MPP USA. You guys are the thinkers. Thank you. If you're joining us, this is a special edition of Diaspora Weekly. We're discussing the elections of Ghana, and we'll soon, on the second half, we'll talk about the election of the United States. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at moving forward, what needs to be done, both from the governance standpoint and then the party operation standpoint. This is Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine, joined by Kwabna Menu, New York, Kwame Champon, Texas. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
What's cool, fresh and trendy with a new look? Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you glow. Anytime, anywhere.
Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Okay, welcome back. This is a special edition of Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah. I'm joined by Kwabena Manu, a.k.a. Pancho, from New York City. And Kwame Champon. Kwame is going to kill me. Kwame is the unofficial mayor of Houston, Texas. If you know if you know more about Houston than Kwame, they need to arrest you. By the way, if you're watching, you can join us, join the discussion by sending us WhatsApp message to 027-208-3688. 027-208-DNTV. That's how we send in. I mean, I've never seen them do that here in Ghana, but you know the numbers have alphabets.
Oh, okay.
So 3688 is DNTV, in case you forget. 027-208-3688. We're back. We're talking about Ghana and the election, what happened. I think we've dissected what happened and some of the areas that we think went wrong. But in the next, moving forward, we're going to talk about moving forward. Now, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency the President of Ghana, is about to announce his ministerial appointments, and then the residual appointees, what do you call it, agency heads and everything, and then start the second term. What does he need to do to break this cycle of 8 years per party? Because, well, United States have been at it for a while, and they don't have a formula. But so far in the Fourth Republic in Ghana, it's been consistent. One party comes to power, 8 years, they change it, another party comes. NPP has vowed to break this cycle. Kwabena, what do they need to do?
I think Nana, the president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, he is a lame duck president, meaning he cannot succeed himself. So he needs to be very, very firm and harsh in everything that he does, starting from his appointees. If you are a minister and a member of parliament and you lost your seat, he shouldn't give you another job. Listen, the MPP chain or line is very long. So if you had a job and you couldn't take care of it and you lost that job, why should Nana Akufo-Addo give you another job? He shouldn't.
That's the internal party dynamics.
Yes, he shouldn't give you another job.
But some will say...
Secondly, let me finish, Jermaine. The corruption or the perception of corruption. Somebody needs to go to jail for having amassed wealth illegally. The first 4 years, we didn't see anything. This Hamidou guy, I don't even want to talk about him. So this term, something needs to be done. Appoint the right person and let the heads roll. If it's an MPP member who is corrupt, let him face the music. If it's an NDC member who amassed wealth illegally, let him face the music. It cuts across the board. It shouldn't be a witch hunt affair whereby you are going after just NDC people. It should be across the board. MPP, NDC. Go out for them.
You know, some of these financial malfeasance are very hard to prove, okay? And in Ghana, we've made it even tougher. These accused persons will file all kinds of motions because they have the money. They've stolen the money. They have plenty of it to fight and fight and fight. The same Ghanaians will turn and say, oh, Mukramu wasted time. You see, we've seen it before. But, Kwame, the low-hanging fruit that we know is the 8 NDC parliamentary members who were also ministers who collected double salary. That one is obvious. You opened the account, we say this one is coming in, this coming minister salary is coming in, MP salary is coming in against the law. It is there. It is obvious. Allegedly, let me put allegedly because Allegedly, including the guy who is Speaker of the House today. So 8 people take salary both as MP and against the law. Not only did we not do anything about it, we actually elected one of them, Speaker of the House. Kwame, how do you now put anybody in jail for, for corruption?
I think it is becoming a phenomenon. People are beginning to see that, when they see that there's no repercussion,
Yeah.
they will continue to do whatever they need.
Yeah. Why should I stop?
Why should I stop? But you and I and Pancho, we live in the United States. We've been there for so long. Trust me. From the local government to the state government to the federal government.
You do the crime, you do the time.
They will get you. FBI doesn't belong to the Republican Party. They don't belong to no party. They are for United States. But when you go, you have been put in a responsibility because you see you have access to, and then making decision where there's money. But there you just touch it.
Somebody told me that it is not the corruption that hurts this country. It's capital flight. Look, let me do a scenario here. Kwabena, Kwame, let's just say you've both stolen money, okay? You stole 5 million, you stole 5 million. Kwabena opens a business in Ghana, employs people. So the money that he stole, as bad as it is circulating, is boosting the economy. But you, Kwame, you stole the 5 million and bam, went and put it in a bank in Dubai or Switzerland. Which is worse?
Both. Both.
Right.
For the first place, the idea of thinking about going to steal money.
I know.
Or taking,
like I said, stealing is wrong.
Yes,
we know that.
Taking you advantage of your position to make that money. That's bad. I can give an example. There is a situation where a congressman from Louisiana,
is it Edwards?
yeah, somebody, who went to Nigeria, working for lobbying for Shell and for some reason. It's a fact.
Isn't that the guy who put the money in his fridge?
Yeah, the deep freezer. Because the money he had, I don't know how he was able to transport his money from outside the United States. But in America, they have laws, they have rules.
Yeah.
And eventually the guy had to go to jail.
Yeah.
Lost his seat. They grab him because you see FBI. When they are after you,
So,
serious.
so besides law enforcement, what else need to be done? Because here you are, your first term, you've done all these great things. But if you meet the man on the street and you ask him, what has the government done? He'll tell you no. Kwabena, how do you change that?
Jermaine, it's the perception. The ordinary Ghanaian on the street feels that both parties are the same.
yes.
They all come, they all cheat and steal.
First of all, from where you sit, is that a true
It's not
argument?
true.
It's not true.
It's not true. But
So-
the perception is there, and perception is reality
That's
when
right.
it comes to politics.
That's right.
Perception is reality.
Yeah.
You see, Ghanaians are adopting the 11th commandment, I call it.
Which is,
Steal, but steal with a finesse so that you don't get caught. And even if you get caught, it becomes embezzlement rather than stealing. And that's what Ghanaians are doing. Everyone who steals must face the music, Jermaine.
Okay.
Stealing is stealing.
okay. Stealing of money is bad.
Yes.
But I submit to you, Kwame, that out here, not politicians, the people are just as bad as the politicians. The only thing, and I'll add this caveat, that when you're placed in a position of authority, don't abuse it. But you see people cheat wherever they go. The policeman is going to take advantage of his position and steal. Even driving, that's my pet peeve. When there's a queue, somebody is going to jump and steal a position. That's theft. So why should we just blame only the politicians? That is us. That's our nature. And if somebody is going to steal a spot, think about it. If there's a queue and everybody is in line, and you get the opportunity and you just to steal the front, that person, if you put him in a position of authority, what do you think he's going to do?
Well, he's going to, Jermaine, he's going to behave badly.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, if someone cuts a line, if I am behind you, I will tell you, hey, Krache,
that's right.
See, you shouldn't be afraid to speak your mind. And somewhere I read that if a man is afraid to die for something that he is willing to live for, then he's not even fit to live. You see, speak your mind at all times. Don't mince words, speak your mind. People are going to hate you, but continue speaking your mind.
Yeah.
Your house help might steal from you. He's not stealing from the government coffers. When he steals from you, you catch him, you deal with him.
Yes.
You can decide to keep him at the house or just fire him.
Yeah.
So the same with the government.
But there has to be a consequence.
The consequence is you, the house owner, you are dealing with the house help. The government should be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Because if you, Kwame, as nice as I am, and I consider myself a very honest person, okay? If you put me at a place where there's $10 million, right? And maybe on my own, I will not touch the money. But I just got a call. Your mom is in a hospital dying. Your father is so and so and so. And you know Ghana, the problems come from all kinds of directions. My pay will not meet these. And the money is there breathing, staring me in the face. I know if I dip my hands in it, nothing is going to happen to me. Trust me, I'll be tempted, as honest as I am, because my mother is dying. My father, you see what I mean? So in the end, I think you guys have hit it on the spot. The consequence is the only deterrence.
That's it.
Because honesty doesn't cut it.
That's it.
Even Pope, if you put him in that situation where his son needs this surgery or he dies, he doesn't have the money. The money is sitting there. How many people will say that they're not going to touch the money? At the end of the day, is the deterrence.
Yeah, deterrence.
And so, but besides all this, fine, we've spent a lot of time on crime and punishment. What about the good work, the governance? What does Nana need to do differently?
I can tell you right away. We are all here. We observe the performance of the government. I mean, the president and his administration the last time. You knew that there were some individuals Nana appointed, and for some reason they were let go. But we don't really know. We just sit back. What happened? How come this gentleman here was placed at this as a CEO of a certain government agency?
Yeah.
But he's no more there. What happened? We don't even know. Even those of us who are party folks.
Yeah.
We still ask these questions.
Yeah.
So what happened? We don't even know. You can count so many of them, Jermaine.
Yeah.
Come on. The same thing applies to you. You know that.
Yeah.
And so this time around, going forward, I think our great president, Nana Akufo-Addo, need to put his feet down.
Okay.
You appoint the gentleman here you observe that, you make sure that he's doing what he's supposed to do. And then other individuals must also come up with information, because that's critical.
Yeah. Okay, Kwabena, what's your take before we go on the next break?
I will say it again. Nana is a lame duck. He shouldn't be smiling at people.
Yes.
He should continue to have Ghana on his radar. And then anyone who does anything wrong, they amass wealth, they embezzle money, they do stupid things, anything illegal, he should fire that person immediately. Not just fire the person should face the music. They should try him, and if he's found wanting, they should jail him. That would be an example and a deterrence.
Okay, we're going to go on a quick break before we come back to the next segment, which will be the United States. But we have some messages in. This one says a factual, stimulating discussion is worth it. The person didn't put his name, but he's watching us from, guess what? I know his number is 786. And I just checked right now, 786 is Florida Keys, Dade County. That's Miami. So thank you, whoever you are watching us from Miami. Thank you for that message. And then we have one Chris, a free year, says, this is absolutely heartless and pure wickedness, for Christ's sake. Brother, you're doing a good job. Thank you. And then he goes on to say, good afternoon, Mr. Nkrumah. Most of the MPs went asleep and did nothing for their constituency that voted them to Parliament. A typical example of is Afoli Kwe of Krowo. She was so sure of herself and was just boasting of free SHS. Okay, so just like you rightfully said. In deciding on delegates, this one from Mark from Ebuakwa, in deciding on delegates to select PCs and other party officials, MPP should be careful not to open the gates to all card-bearing party members, because other parties can infiltrate and choose wrong people for us. NDC tried it and failed. Quickly, 1 minute. He raised a point that you raised. How do you mitigate that? How do you make sure that the NDC doesn't infiltrate? Kwame.
Maybe we will have to begin. I know my constituency, East. Let us begin to. We will start from where we give party identification. Those who come in, tell them to pay 5 cedis. Just become a member. You will see people will line up.
Okay.
By doing that, we can really even raise money.
Okay.
And then we'll give them party identification cards. So during the primaries, these are the guys who will come with their cards and they vote. We'll start from there.
Okay.
And then later on, maybe we will extend it to cover everybody.
Now, if it's 5 cities and I'm targeting a seat that we lost by a few thousand votes, I'm going there and I'm telling my NDC foot soldiers, give everybody 5 cities, go and register as NPP. This thing. How do you stop that?
Jermaine, I think when you go to any and every constituency, they are known.
They know
members
themselves.
are known.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take for Insuta Kwamai, Beposo constituency.
So besides the money, you're saying that let somebody vouch for you.
Exactly. We can you have a process of really vouching.
Yeah.
And you know that this guy, if he's an NDC member and he's in that constituency, people know him to be an NDC member.
Yeah.
If you are going to sit back and say the NDC will infiltrate,
Infiltrate.
then we can also infiltrate theirs.
Exactly.
And for the point of correction, NDC never tried that. They never tried that.
What you're proposing is 1 member, 1 vote, which is
Omof.
Yes. All right. Final message before we go to a break. This is the best post-election analysis program so far, and I'm happy to say your panelists are deep thinkers and brave. One thing that contributed to the heavy loss of our MPP parliamentary candidates was the neglect of core party supporters, especially polling station agents. Most of them are still jobless, and I know some polling agents that were compromised by the NDC because they were jobless and they were induced with money to have NDC figures massaged. The question is, what's the party's position about empowering polling agents? Remember, elections are won at the polling station. Fernando Sanchez from WA. Thank you all for those who sent your messages in. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we're shifting to the United States. This is a special edition of Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah. I'm joined by Kwabena Manu, a.k.a. Pancho, and Kwame Champon. What's your nickname? You don't have any. Think of what. You know what? He went to Kumaka. If you're watching.
They used to call me Man.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, Man, they're saying your name. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
It's a new season. 3 ladies, intriguing conversations from 3 different perspectives.
How many months does it take to pass even a bill? And everybody keeps saying, we'll get back to you.
Traffic everywhere, wasting people's time.
When are you getting back to us?
Time is money.
Energy.
It's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Only on DNT.
Hello and welcome back. This is the second phase of our post-election analysis. We've finished with Ghana. Now we're shifting to the United States, where, in fact, the 3 of us, I think it's fair to say that we've spent the majority of our life in the States.
Yep.
Even though we were all born and raised in Ghana, we've spent the most of our time there. So before we even get into the politics, I know it's not fancy to say it, but when you look yourself in the mirror, the principles and everything that you exhibit, are they Ghanaian or are they American?
Kwame, okay, if I have to go first.
Yeah.
We are all born and bred in Ghana.
Uh-huh.
We are Ghanaians.
Yes.
But America has shaped my life. The fact that I'm so brazen. While I was young in Ghana, I was also brazen. But the fact is, we have gone out to the States or outside of Ghana to learn a lot of things. A lot of things. If you know you drive without a license in America, you are going to get arrested.
Yes.
One way or the other. You might go for a mile and will not get caught. But
once you get caught,
there's spot checks. They will stop you and you will get caught and you won't drive again for a couple of months. And you know, you see, America has shaped my life to be able to look at things differently. Sometimes maybe a Koswa, you don't understand. I remember when Starbow was around. I bought a ticket to come from Kumasi to Accra, and then they say, oh, sit anywhere. Sit anywhere on a plane. Sit anywhere. Jermaine, that will never happen in the United States. I told them, say, wait, and you give me a seat. Meanwhile, you've given me seat number 4. And you're telling me to sit anywhere because somebody is sitting at seat number 4. All hell broke loose. The man had to get up and to go sit somewhere so I can occupy seat number 4. I just will not let it go.
Yeah. What about you? So when you look in the mirror, what do you see a Ghanaian or you see an American?
I was born here as a Ghanaian. The lot that I learned from my parents, especially my mother. You know, my father died when I was about 10. But my mother instilled discipline in us. But also in the United States, just like my good friend Kabramanu just said, America has changed me.
Yeah.
America has set me, give me some values. Because it's a place where things are different.
Yeah.
You don't have to know anybody to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
The rules are there. Everything is in place. When you put this here, you get here.
Has that shaped the way you look at things in Ghana?
Yes. When I see things here, I see every day.
Different from the way a typical Ghanaian
typically.
would.
I mean, anytime I go to places, I question myself, what's happening?
Yeah.
And I remember in Houston, my wife told me, Kwame, you've been gone for so long. Do you think Ghana is the same when you left there?
Yeah.
They have telephones. They look at different things. They try to imitate United States. Some of them, would, even the way the young ones dress up. So, I mean, in the United States, you know, remember like these rapper guys you see, you know, showing their underwear. These are.
And now they're doing it in Ghana.
Not here. We're here.
Okay, gentlemen, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna go into the election. Okay, but let me start. Where are you from in Ghana?
I was born in Agona in the Ashanti region.
Agona in Ashanti region. Where
I'm from Insuta.
Insuta.
I was born in Kumasi.
Okay. Kumasi boy. Okay, you were born in Kumasi. Oh, yeah. Did any of you stay in a rural area?
Oh, of course.
Of course.
You lived there for how?
I was in the rural areas because my father was in jail during the Nkrumah regime.
Okay.
He was in a...
So you went back to the...
we were in the village, tossing back and forth. I even spent like a year and a half in the northern region of Nandom. It wasn't a village, but somebody from Kumasi moving to Nandom because I went to live with my father's brother.
Okay.
He treated me very nicely.
Okay. The reason why I ask is this, okay? Here we are, born and raised in Ghana. But when we go live in the United States, when we come back, I think we're bashful about saying, we think and act like Americans because Ghanaians frown on it, right? Well, let me ask you this. If you're in the village, like, I don't want to mention any name, but we all know what a village is and the village life. And you live there to come live in Kumasi or Accra for more than half your life. You've become a city boy. Like it or not, you've become a city boy. When you go back to the village, are you going to put your hand in the way with 5 people, would you do that again? When you've come here and you've done air condition, back in the village you used to sit under the tree and enjoy the breeze. Now when you go there, you're hot. You've lived in Accra where you use stove and microwave. When you go back, you're not going to be comfortable using bochia and cold pot and all those things. That is just human nature. But that's okay. Because people are saying, oh, say, why is it that when we go to America and we come back, we can't exhibit what we've learned? We can't be ourselves. We have to be like, tell me, are we missing something? What is the difference?
Jermaine, you see, you cannot belittle or disrespect Ghanaians just because you've lived outside the country.
Absolutely not.
Not. Of course.
Absolutely not.
Yes. But the fact of the matter is, you've lived outside the country for so many years.
Yes.
So you are going to exhibit
some
of the things that made you.
You are there. Yes.
Yes.
Unknowingly.
It's going to happen.
It happens.
But
you
then
don't even know.
Me, I try, sir. Honestly, it's not because I'm human than anybody. Jermaine, we've all lived there. I will not sit and eat fufu in the same bowl with you. No. Because fufu and quite say we will eat together. You understand?
Yes.
If we are picking up grapes and eating from the same plate, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, maybe dear who are not containing in
No.
You won't do it.
No,
even though you used to do it. And so people look at you and say, oh, chro.
Yes. Just like you just mentioned. You told me yesterday this program will be around noon. And then you sent me a text 11:30. When I got myself ready and I was coming here, I was scared.
Yeah.
When I called Pancho said, "Come, where are you? I thought you were here. I'm already here." I started shaking because you know why? I'm late. The fact that I'm late, I'm running late, I get so scared. I said, man, what am I going to tell my friends? These are some of the things we learn in the United States. Going somewhere on time is a must.
Yeah.
You don't even think about it. So you're always on time. That doesn't mean that you're bashful.
Yeah.
It comes naturally. Incidentally, when I was coming over here, I said, oh man, come, you're going to be on the TV. I was thinking, I need to go and shoot my mustache, get my hair cut. I was scared coming over here because I know these guys are going to be so clean, and I'm going to get myself crazy, and then you're on TV.
All right.
I was worried about that because
So, gentlemen, let's shift to the Trump America. Between 2016, or shall I say January of 2017 till now, it was Trump's America, no doubt about it. What was his performance like? He's from New York, and that's where you're from.
I know Trump. Not that he's a friend of mine, but he's in New York, so we heard so many things about him. The exit of Trump from the White House is the best thing that ever happened to America within the last 4 years. Seriously, this man is shameless. He's a bigot. He's a racist. He's a thief. He's a crook.
Wow.
Listen, it chanced upon him to become the president. He was no politician.
Okay, so this is where I play the devil's advocate. What makes him a thief? What makes him a bigot? Give me examples.
Listen, a thief, he doesn't go out and pickpocket, but Trump has operated by cheating the system all the time. He sets up businesses. He files for bankruptcy, and then he moves on. I mean, recently we all realized that he owed so much.
400 million.
In taxes, back taxes. During the time, the elections, in his primaries, he said he's the only one who can change things. He knew what he was going to come and do.
Yeah.
He's no good. He's a bigot. We all see what has happened. We all see what happened.
So that part we knew about him. And even people who voted for him said, look, we know we're not voting for a saint. Okay. So I think all three of us agree with you that when you put a saint here, you have to go a million miles to place Trump there. Yes. We know that. But from a policy standpoint, people were excusing them voting for somebody who is all that and voting him president and still supporting him And they always cite policy, policy, policy. So Kwame, you're the policy man. Talk to me about his policies and why he was president.
I can give you that example. You know, Americans, the economy is run aggressively on what happened on the Wall Street, and then also the Federal Reserve Board, especially the chairman, whoever is the top. But them taking positions, talking, can affect the economy at any given time.
Right.
And so that's what they base their system. If they have to buy stocks, what they have to do, it depends on that. Incidentally, this guy came here, we all know that he's a crook, he's a bad guy. But there are some two things that he set in place. Actually, Obama came in. Obama things were bad, but Obama was able to put in place certain things to be able to revive the economy at a time when George left the scene. And then, incidentally, this guy also came in. Yeah, incidentally, this guy came in. And then one thing that he did that I think sometimes I give him just a little bit credit is how he was able to stand against China.
Okay.
And as a result, he said that you can't just get all your stuff over here and bring them over here and cheat us.
Okay.
It has never happened before.
All right. So on the economy, I have some numbers for you.
Yes, sir.
Obama took the stock market from 7,000 to about 21, 22,000.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
in 8 years.
Yes.
So he traveled 7, 8, 9, about almost quite a handful, about 30,000.
He did well.
My maths is far, but he took it from 7,000
I remember that.
to 21, 22,000.
Yeah.
Right? And climbing.
Yes.
That's important thing. If you know statistics, the trajectory of a number is important. So if someone takes stock market from 7,000 to 21, 22,000 and climbing, and then you come in and you take it to 27,000.
It's not a big deal.
The difference is so small.
It's so
Exactly.
Small. It's so small during the 4 years.
Yeah.
So
and here's what you call it, unemployment figure. Obama took it from 7.8% and climbing. If you remember, it was going this way. The day he walked in, it was 7.8 and climbing. It went as high as 9.9% unemployment until his policies started dropping it. By the time he was leaving office, it was 4.1%. You see that? And dropping. And that's when Homeboy came in. And he said, oh, unemployment is good. So who's really to be credited for the economy, the economic boom between 2016 and 2019 before the pandemic hit? If you just look at the numbers and the trajectory of them.
Yes. I think you've made a very good point. Obama was able to set the mark. And then just like any government, stretching yourself through 2 terms. You wouldn't really get things the way you did it, because incidentally around about 2010, when Obama came in 2008, through the first 2 years, the Democrats controlled the White House, they controlled the Senate, they controlled the House. They were able to do things. And then 2010, they lost. They lost the Senate.
Yeah, to McConnell.
Yeah, to McConnell.
Yeah. And so, talking about China, Kwamna, I'm asking you, you're the president of China. I'm United States president. I see that the numbers don't look good. You're cheating me, right? We're presidents. We're high-profile people. I'm going to use two approaches. One approach is I call and say, hey, Kwamna, I want to come see you for a minute. Say, sure, come on over. I come, I sit down with you, I say, look, these are the numbers. They're not sustainable. You need to do something about it, or we're going to change some of our policies, and I think you're going to hurt. So what can you do, right? We can have that conversation. That's one approach. The next approach is I stand here, oh, China, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Which approach yields the best results at the diplomatic level?
The first one. You can't bully your way through negotiations.
Yes.
you have to come to the table and talk to people as human beings.
Yes.
Trump is a bully. He's a bully. Every policy he wanted to undertake was just bamboozle himself through.
He did that in the private sector.
Yes,
and
he
people
did
were scared of him.
Yes.
But in the in the political realm, the rules are different.
But still, people became
Somebody
afraid
didn't
of him.
send him the memo.
Some people still became afraid of him.
Yeah.
Look at the Republicans, from Ted Cruz to Lindsey Graham to Mitch McConnell.
The same people who were insulting him when he was running.
Yes, they called him all kinds of names.
Yes.
And he said Ted Cruz's wife is ugly. He told him to his face.
Ted Cruz's father was part of the people who assassinated JFK.
But then he turns around.
And then the lady
Ted
who...
Cruz is a fool, just like
You know, and the lady...
just like Trump.
the only...
Okay, so the election, was that a surprise to you?
The way it happened in the United States.
Yeah.
No.
It wasn't.
But there were some who argued left and right that no, Trump is going to win.
Let me say one thing, Jermaine. I think for so long, America's elections and Ghana's election have kind of a certain pattern.
Coincided, yeah.
Anytime a Republican government comes to power, the MPP is in power. So for that matter, a lot of people have been thinking that, oh, right now that anytime a Democrat comes, the NDC is in power, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So when the Democrat won, Joe Biden won, a lot of Ghanaians thought that the NDC was going to win. That's madness.
That's madness.
It's a shallow thinking.
Election is on
process.
performance.
No, it's about performance.
Yes.
You
I
know?
don't know why.
It's about performance. Yes, of course, our party is a very conservative party. Conservatism, that doesn't mean that you're a bad guy, all that kind of stuff. No, it's about making sure that the little money that you have, how do you use it judiciously? Yes, of course, we are a very conservative party. But look at some of the social programs, right from Kufuor, the introduction of all the social programs.
Okay.
Just to make sure that the ordinary man can also get a benefit from what we have in this country.
Jermaine, I think that American conservatism and the Ghanaian conservatism
Are different.
They're two different things.
Maybe Ghana's
But whose idea was it to marry the NPP to the Republican Party? Anyway?
I don't know. You know what?
Should that change?
I think it should change.
It will change by itself.
Personally, sometimes I used to laugh at our own party saying that maybe it's because of the elephant symbol.
Yeah.
You know?
Or the conservatism.
Yes.
Like the rightful says, these are two separate conservatives.
Because you know that the Republican Party is symbolized by the elephant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me talk to you guys about
Before we come in, I want to talk about what he just said about the elephant. You remember there's a page that I go all the time to meet, all these Republican, these Democratic Party big guys in Houston. And I went out there at that time, 2012, I was trying to find a way to raise money for Nana Akufo-Addo. And I went out there and had designed all this with this, the symbol, the elephant, all that kind of stuff. And
then they say you're a
Republican. They say it's coming, you're a Republican. No, don't come and talk to us.
Gentlemen, I want to talk about misinformation that characterized the Trump presidency. By some counts, throughout the 4 years, he must have said about 60,000 lies or something. But the most glaring one was the inauguration of Obama. Have you seen it where they put the crowd, picture of a crowd for Obama inauguration, and they put next to it the picture of aerial view of the crowd that attended
Trump's.
When you look at those two pictures, you have to be blind. But yet Trump had the audacity to say it himself that more people attended his inauguration than. So what is it about Americans that you can tell them an obvious lie and they'll eat it like chicken?
They are there. That group of Americans are the ones that are seriously pro-Trump. You and I and Governor, we've been in the U.S. for a very long time. I didn't even know that these guys exist in the U.S. Go to West Virginia. These coal mine guys, they drink Mountain Dew, losing all their teeth. I didn't even know these people exist. But here comes Trump. And I don't know where they came from.
Yeah.
This is a guy who came out there speaking their language.
He became a spokesman.
Yeah, now we have somebody
became a
who is talking
spokesman.
to us.
Somebody told me that and this is crazy. The immigrants in America are more patriotic than those people that you're talking about. True or false?
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Tell me
It's
why
true.
that's true.
Because one, the immigrants, they know why they're in the country. They work hard. Just go to the most convenient stores. These Vietnamese, they stay there from 5:30 until 10 p.m. Their family running.
And they won't sell America for anything.
No, they won't
Because,
do that.
Jermaine, not to cut you off, Kwame, immigrants came to the country and they've seen what America has done for them.
Yes.
They've been accepted
Yeah.
and they've gone places.
Yeah.
So they're really patriotic.
Yes.
So what does it say about a group of people? We're talking immigration here. What does it say about a group of people? And we know the history, because when you go to university, they force you to learn this thing.
Yes.
You didn't like the monarchy system in America.
Yeah.
You were considered a renegade. You got on a boat, came to
Yes.
the New World.
Yeah.
That place was being inhabited by the American Indians.
Yep.
You kill them off, take the land. Then you say, oh, we need to cultivate this land. Let's go get the Africans. Go to Africa and bring them to cultivate the land. Bring the Chinese to lay the rail lines. Bring the, all kinds, just bring people to come and work the land.
Build the
Now that
country.
the country is built, you now tell it, oh, it's a white country, so no, you go back to Africa, you go back to China. Hello, am I missing anything?
Jermaine, as far as these rednecks, the way they just follow Trump, I see that in Ghana also. The churches, my brother, the churches, they are brainwashed. Some of them, or most of them are brainwashed, especially these fake quack one-man churches. They do the same thing. They brainwash their followers.
Take the money.
And then they make them do things, and they are afraid because they tell them lies.
Yeah.
Like most of these preachers, they lie to their congregation. They lie to them all the time, and they believe it.
Okay. All right. So before we go on, we're going to go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the outcome, if it was a surprise, and then what's next. And that's going to be our final segment. But let me take a moment to read a couple of messages that came in.
Wow.
Mr. Nkrumah, NPP has one big problem. When we're solving a problem, we don't think about the nuances. And that is why we always have a problem with election. Our opponents use Machiavellian tactics, and most often they outwit us. Let us look sharp with this Omov thing. Mark Ebuakwa. All right. And then, really enjoying the program, Diaspora Weekly. I think the president should appoint such intellectuals as his advisors. I am Kweku Echampon. It looks like somebody's pitching a job for you guys. What do you think?
Well, obviously.
The line is long.
Yeah.
And if he's saying it, and so rightfully so.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we have seen it
You
before.
paid your dues.
Yes.
Okay.
We know what it is.
Talking about paying your dues. Dudes, do you know what you guys have done for the MPP
No,
party?
because you see, we live in the United States, so they don't really know. There was a time when they were coming to us, that at that time in the 90s, they don't have any money.
Yeah.
We were the one, Muhammad, Idris, or
Idris.
people like Kofi Boateng, all these New Yorkers.
Teria, all those.
Boche
And don't
Dako.
leave your names out. You guys
Yes.
were big boys.
Yeah.
We're going a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to the final segment, which would be what happened in America's election and moving forward. But if you want to give us a call to our numbers, 024-814-2840 or 024-814-7840. Okay? 024-814-7840 or 024-814-2840. And on WhatsApp again is 027-208-3688. Join the conversation. This is a special edition of Diaspora Weekly. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
It's a new season. 3 latest intriguing conversations from 3 different perspectives.
How many months does it take to pass even a bill? And everybody keeps saying, we'll get back to you.
Traffic everywhere, wasting people's time.
When are you getting back to us?
Time is money.
Energy, wow.
It's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Only on DNT.
Every morning to different stories from politics, business, sports, and entertainment. These stories, one way or the other, affect our lifestyle and dealings with family, friends, and business associates. Your take on Diaspora Network Television gives you an opportunity to have your take on these pertinent issues via phone in and messages to our social media platforms, DNT Ghana on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If it's an important trending story, we will definitely talk about it. Your take with me, Yasichi, on DNT.
All right, welcome back. That's probably look. You should know the conversation that went off camera. It's just amazing stuff. Some of them we won't be able to talk about. But for now, we're going to the final segment, the election that happened in the United States. Surprises? It's almost like if you took out the change at the presidency, almost everything went the same way. The Democrats who were in control in Congress lost seats. Mm-hmm. The Republicans who were in control now is 50-50. Mm-hmm. Democrats versus Republicans. Yeah. And Kamala Harris is going to be the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Here in Ghana, Parliament 137-137. So we didn't depart too much. What happened in the United States? What caused this earthquake?
You know, Jermaine, America has been like this for a very long time. They have been practicing democracy over the years. And I'm not just surprised the way things turn out.
Yeah.
I was expecting something like this. And I knew the changes wouldn't be that much. And we all saw that, just like you mentioned about the Senate, the House. I knew the House would be still in control, but they lost seats.
They lost seats.
The House lost seats. The Senate were able to do well. Even between Biden and Trump, it was a little bit more close.
Actually, it's 306, Biden 306 electoral votes and Trump 232, which is the same margin that Trump won over Hillary.
Hillary.
But the popular vote, Hillary beat Trump. Even though she lost the presidency by 2.8 million votes. Yeah. Biden smoked Mr. Trump by 7 million.
Yes.
Almost 8 million.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they were looking for a change.
Right. But people were scared. They said, oh, we need America for it. They will still vote for Trump. But I knew, in fact, I bet the station, Nanaya, say, Trump will win here, I'll sign this over to you. She thought I was crazy. No. And it happened. Why?
My fear was not because Trump was going to win. I felt that if it was genuine and there was no hanky-panky stuff, Biden was going to win. Because Trump's rhetoric sometimes makes you think that he's getting support from the Russians.
And we all know outside, he was.
Yes, from an outside force. But this time the FBI, they stood their ground. They made sure that no one was going to interfere in the elections.
Because they love America.
And then let's thank these women in Atlanta, Georgia, Stacey Abrams.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
She did a good job. The grassroots there did so much well that they registered a lot of people.
Yes.
So I knew that Biden was going to win. I didn't think he was going to smoke him away, but I knew he was going to win. But then after the elections, when the 2 Georgia Senate races went to a second round, I knew that the Democrats were going to catch up. It was a movement.
Now, some Republicans have jumped ship, but Trump still has tremendous control over the Republican Party. Do you think he'll be able to sustain that control, Kwame?
We're talking about Trump?
Yeah.
As of today?
Yeah. He still has control.
Well, of course. I mean, I was telling you about.
Do you think he can sustain that control?
Maybe with time it will die off, because he's gone, so he won't be available, and therefore
he won't have the bullet pulpit.
Yeah. So those guys I was talking about, the West Virginia guys and the crazy white folks, you know, who were just trying to revive, Nazism, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they are all going to die, because the guy who was there, promoting or propagating, the ideas, he's gone.
Okay.
So there's no national stage.
Yeah.
To bring them back.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the bullet pulpit, so
nah.
If he lies, he can now lie to only a small group of people.
He's gone.
Unless the media decides to carry.
Incidentally, I was wondering, I thought this guy wouldn't leave the White House. I thought he was going to fight.
They would have moved him away. He knew that.
Oh, he knew.
He
doesn't get to. At 12:01, at 12, you see the Secret Service. They're all over you. At 12:01,
switch. They change shifts.
And at that time, if you are still in the White House, they'll come. You know how the police, they will fold their Mr. President, you're trespassing, and we need you to vacate the premises so that you cow.
What about that's it. No.
That's it.
You asked the question if Trump was going to be still influential. I don't think so. He's gone. He's finished. And this impeachment, this thing is going to go through.
Yes.
And I hope they ban him from public office.
Do you think you have 17 Republicans to vote against him?
You know what? With Mitch McConnell.
McConnell is going to vote against him.
And he's going to rally some people around. I think they might get him.
McCoskey. So right now we got McCoskey. Collins will vote against him. Toomey has said he will vote against him.
Romney will vote against him.
Romney is a banker. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So now, if you're Ted Cruz and you want to run for president, why wouldn't you vote to convict him so that he's no longer a threat for running 2024, so that you guys who now want to run for president can run for president?
No, he will do that. You don't
Ted Cruz thinks he's smart. He's going to keep on singing the song and the tunes of Trump.
But when it comes to,
he will vote against. He will vote. He will not vote for the impeachment.
If you are Schumer, the majority leader now, wouldn't it be a good idea to make it a secret vote?
But does the law call for that? I don't know.
The rules.
You see, the thing with these legislative things, they can make their own rules.
Yeah, the Senate is a little bit different.
They can make their own rules.
The House is very much stretching. There's a flexibility in the Senate, but it's not going to happen.
The Senate can make their own rules.
I know that.
If I'm Schumer, especially if he agrees with McConnell, make it a secret. In fact, McConnell would want it to be a secret vote so that some of the Republicans who don't like Trump can vote secretly.
And no one will know.
No one will know. And that's the way they get their party back. Because if Trump still maintains control over the Republican Party, you can't even breathe. If you breathe too much, he insults you and the people.
And he has the base.
Yeah, he has the base. But I can tell you, in the Senate, even among the Republicans, majority of them will not support him any longer, because just like Kamran just said, they want their party.
Yeah,
they want to get their party and clean up the party, just like when it was during the time
get rid of him.
Yes, get rid of him.
Okay,
so it's his plague.
So enough about Trump. Now Biden and Kamala Harris. By the way, don't tell my wife, but that's my girlfriend. Biden and Kamala Harris. Now it's their ship. Where do they go from here? How do they bring the country back? And particularly, how do they earn trust around the world by other world leaders?
Or the trust will come naturally.
Yes.
Because they know that they have some sensible people who are going to man the ship. I think it's a history-breaking thing, and they're going to do their best. I mean, yesterday Biden signed a whole lot of executive actions, reversing some of the things that Trump had passed. So things are going to work out. America is going to recapture its lost glory.
You know, the climate change,
Yes.
you know, all these things that they have been programmed before during the Obama's time. It's coming on board. Obamacare is coming on board.
Yeah.
You know, so things will be different.
Biden signed 17 executive orders on the first day.
Wow.
All the he put America back into the climate change award, the Paris Accord, and Obamacare. A lot of what they chipped away, he is restoring them back. But you know, the thing about Obamacare, to tell you about how these people behave, they had a study, the West Virginians that you're talking about. They said everything about that law. They called it affordable care. So yeah, it's great. We love it, and everything.
The same as Obama.
Great. And then the same thing. Say it's Obama. We don't like it.
Obamacare
because of
Obama.
Because of the name.
Because of the name.
Affordable Care Act is the same as Obamacare.
Yes. Exactly the same. But they like Affordable Care Act, but they don't like
Obama's name is attached.
And you're here in Ghana thinking Americans are these great. Look, I always say this, and I'm on TV, and I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I will say it because I believe it. If you're looking for the smartest person that ever lived, chances are you'll find him in America. At the same token, if you're looking for the dumbest person that ever lived, that's also where you find him. Because how else can you see Obamacare? The same thing, they've listed the thing to you. So we love it, it's a great idea. But they list the same thing and then on top they put Obamacare. So we don't like it.
They didn't read through.
Yeah. No. It's about Obama.
Okay. All right. So Kamala Harris made history. What do you expect? 2024, what's going to happen? Is Biden running again? And if he's not, is Kamala in a driver's seat?
I can tell you this, this feminism, American belief about the man and the woman, you look at the stretch, it has never happened before.
Yeah.
This the first time a woman has come that far.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton tried the presidency, it never went through. But this lady is a step from
closer.
The presidency.
Right.
Yeah. And so let us see the first 2 years as to how things will put in place, how things, we don't know how things will happen. Maybe Biden might decide to, after first term, say, well, let me just step down.
Do you think Biden will run again in 2024? He'll be 82.
I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think Biden will run.
Then it's a wide open field.
It's a wide open
with
field.
Kamala in the driver's seat, presumably.
But you know what? America is America. At that time, a new candidate can come out. Because remember, when Obama came, people told at that time that either Biden or Hillary Clinton was going to emerge out of that. Even when Bill Clinton came, there were other candidates.
Oh yes, Cuomo and all those
powerful guys. The guy,
Cuomo, he didn't run.
He didn't run.
He's an Italian. I think there was something.
But there was a guy.
There were people.
There
were people who were dusting up their CV because they thought, because after the Gulf War, George H.W. Bush had a 94% approval rating. So a lot of the good guys said, nah, I ain't going, I'll wait till his second term.
Yeah, he's clear.
And then Clinton from nowhere, bam.
No,
so
he was ready.
Huh?
Clinton was ready.
Oh yeah.
And I remember,
wasn't Gary Hart also part of the
Gary Hart was there.
Around in 1988.
They
was there. And I remember the first time I saw Clinton and Gore at the University of Texas, LBJ. They came to see Barbara Jordan. And I was looking at them. They came out, they had, lunch, brown bag lunch with us. And I was looking at these two young guys. All their sleeves. Clinton dangling his head.
Were bad.
I said, I'll tell you one thing.
Those boys were bad. Finally, Clinton, by the way, my brush with Clinton was also phenomenal, but I don't have time to talk about it. Before we go, I am making a prediction for 2024. Kamala Harris with this kid in Texas. What's his name? Beto O'Rourke.
Beto O'Rourke, yes.
If Kamala Harris gets the nod and puts Beto on the ticket, they'll win Texas.
They'll win Texas.
But will she win the primaries?
That's the point.
That's
the point. The point. Because you see, in the United States, you can never predict until it's done.
Okay. Ferdinand, we have Ferdinand on the line. Ferdinand, where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Ferdinand calling from WA.
From where? Okay, tell us.
Yes, I think you guys are doing I'm calling in from WA.
From WA.
West Region.
Thanks for calling in. Go ahead.
I think you guys are doing a very good program.
Thank you.
Like the analysis and all that. Kwame and Pancho made a very critical point, and I think we have to consider the fact that when the party is in opposition, we have so many people fighting, blood, day and night. He rightly said that they had to organize money when there was no money for the party over in the States. But right now, it's not about the reward system. It's not about paying them back, but just to recognize people who have worked hard for the party when they're in power. I think somebody also gave me a text message complaining about police station agents not being employed because it's so annoying that if he becomes a polling agent, then all of a sudden people that never worked for the party are getting employment and stuff.
Yeah.
Then somebody comes to me, I'll be compromised. So I think you have to delve into that issue, and I think Pancho will be the right man to handle that. He's so brave. I like his guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ferdinand, I'm getting the impression that you're pretty close to the NP. Are you an NPP?
Yes, I am. I'm NPP.
Okay.
Full-blooded. I've been a polling station agent since 2012.
Okay.
And I have nothing to show for it.
Nothing? Okay. Oh. And so what's, is it a case of you not having the right connection, or have you pushed for anything?
No, I don't need to have the connections to make things work. Just like what your panelist said in America.
Okay.
There should be a system. So if there's, let's say, a list for employment, the first people that should be big priority is police station agents.
Okay.
They were there monitoring the polls from morning right into midnight.
Okay. Kwame has a question.
There should be a system. I don't need to know somebody for the system to work. The party should put in those systems that when there's a list for employment, party agents and people who work so much for the party are considered first.
Kwame has a question.
Yeah, I have something for you. You know your concern and your love for the party and your contribution for the party during the campaign. Because we don't have jobs. That is why you are looking into maybe getting some job from the government. But I can tell you one thing, two things in democracy, the way I have experienced it in the United States. If you love a party, you love their ideas, you love the leadership, you listen to what they are talking about. So there's a time for campaign. And so with you, wherever you might be in Ghana, if you're a businessman, you have money, you say, oh, okay, I think I like what they're saying. Then you contribute to the campaign. You sit back. You don't want anything from the party. You just that party to win so that they can implement their policies and that they can affect people who you live. And I'm not finished yet. And then the next thing is that also after the campaign and then after elections, then the next one is about governance. So in terms of governance from the local government all the way to the national government, if the party is in power, my advice or my suggestion is to making sure that the president sits back and pull the top red guys who can really come out and work with him to make sure that he can really take the country to wherever he wants. Because Nana Akufo-Addo is a very serious guy. He loves this country and he wants the country to be going forward. So hopefully the private sector will grow, and then with time, people like you can find a job, not just in the government sector, but in the private sector.
Go ahead.
What's your name
Fernando.
again? Fernando.
Yeah.
Fernando, this is Kwabena Pancho. You know, what you're saying hits a real core. You know, sometimes when you guys finish doing the work, many a times the party forgets about you. Let's call a spade a spade. you know what, they need to take care of people like you, whether it's a small job or it's a big job. There are contracts all over the place, at the district level, municipal level, and people like you are the ones that they need to come to you and say, listen, this is a little contract for the boys.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is correct. It's true. Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah.
Keep on going to the district office and keep on telling them that you've worked so hard, they need to reward you with something. That's how politics goes.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, by the way, you can take my number. I will leave it here. You can call them and get my number and we'll talk off the air. Okay?
All right, Fernando, before you go, we've heard so many times that elections are won at the polling station. First of all, is it true? And if so, tell us why that is true. Oh, he's already gone. Okay, we've lost him. All right. Well, that would pretty much wrap it up for us. I'm curious as to what transpires at the polling station, the nuances at the polling. I mean, we've all been there as observers and everything, but I wonder what it feels like to be the polling station agent for one party, and you're hungry and you see the other party feeding his people. I wonder if that does anything to your mind, you know. But anyway, before we go, your closing arguments. The last caller, what's the name? Hello. Thank you for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Delegate. I'm from Delegate.
Okay. Go ahead. We're listening to you.
Thank you for the job that you are doing for the country.
Thank you. Hello?
I think he has finished.
Are you still there?
No, he's gone.
All right. It's usually good to lower your TV whilst you're on the phone with us. Okay, closing points. We started with Kwame. So, Kwabna, both Ghana and here, what are your parting words?
You meant both United States and here?
Both United States and here.
With the United States, I just want to say that everyone there should exercise patience and that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to deliver. They couldn't do or they cannot do worse than what Trump did. So
nobody can, right?
Back to Ghana, I'll say that the idea of considering card members, one member, one vote, at the primary levels for the parliamentarians should be something that they take very, 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 very seriously. They cannot play around with it. Otherwise, we can kiss goodbye 2024.
Yeah.
Okay. And Kwame?
Just like my good friend and brother Pancho just said, I think Radley, in terms of the United States, I do have the confidence in Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I think they will do a good job. They are settled. Their country is just done. Whatever the needs are, the infrastructure, everything's fine. It's about us here in Ghana. We have so much work to do here, and I think Nana Akufo-Addo, in the seat as the president of the republic, he will do well. My only concern is that hopefully how things actually run the last 4 years, the approach and the strategy should be a little bit different from the last time. Yeah. If that is done from folks who are working for him in the presidency, and then also the ministers, the various CEOs for the agencies, all the way to the DCs at the local level, things need to be changed.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you for watching this special edition of Diaspora Weekly. Before we go, I have two messages to read. This one says, you didn't give a name, from Tamale Central Constituency. The MPP parliamentary candidates and their campaign managers concentrated on the NDC members, left their own members to faith. They were of the perception that their party members will by all means vote for them. So basically they took them for granted, and it came back to bite them. And this Mark from Abuakwa is saying, unlike elsewhere, there are people who hold multiple party cards. Omov is in trouble. So you know how when you go to any like locality, there are people who have MPP shirts and NDC shirts. If this one comes, they will dance like their favorite. And so the NDC people may see him and say, oh, he's NPP. When NPP comes to town, he puts the NDC shirt down, put on MPP, and he's dancing. Such a person, how would you know whether he is a true MPP or NDC? That's something we might want to think about with Omov. As far as what I would end with, I think in both countries we have seasoned people. In Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo has been a seasoned politician. He's been in Parliament, he's been Attorney General, he's been Foreign Minister. It doesn't get any more experience than this. And so I know that with what happened in 2020, he will learn and do the right thing and position the party well for 2024. Joseph Biden also, hugely experienced. Been in the Senate for a long time, was vice president to Barack Obama, and he returned the favor and put a black lady on his ticket, and now they've won. If you look at his speech, he's big on unity and reestablishing America's trust around the world. So I truly believe that both leaders will do the right thing and position their party for the next election. In the case of United States, the next key election is 2022, and then followed up by 2024. What I'll say in closing is this. We diasporans, love us or hate us. And I say love us because they love our money, but they hate us when we come here. When we bring the dollars, oh yeah, uncle, so and so. But when it comes to anything political, oh, you're not part of us. That must change. I'm sorry. Because you don't go and live at a place for 30, 35 years and not be influenced by that place. It's just human nature. You, the person that he is saying that you left the village, you came to, you're a city boy. When you go back to the village, they don't tell you that, oh, because you went to live in a city, they say, you're not. If it works for you, it should work for us. If it doesn't work for you, it shouldn't work for us. The analogy is exactly the same thing. Village versus city, or Ghana, and I'm not saying Ghana is a village, don't get me wrong. It's just the way, when you move from somewhere to go live for an extended period of time somewhere, you come back changed. And so don't blame us, but at the same time, we also want to be sure that we don't come back and throw our weight around like, this. We come back, and most of us come back in our humility, and we're still looked upon as foreigners in our own land. And it's even more adding salt to the injury when right in front of us, the Chinese guy that's coming, who has no ties whatsoever with Ghana, receives more acceptance than we do. That should change. This is what Diaspora Weekly is all about. This is what Diaspora Network Television is all about. So if you're watching us, let's do some thinking. Let's fix this country together, because you know what? Ghanaians are smart. Ghanaians are brave. Ghanaians, at the core, was to do the right thing. Those who are doing the wrong thing, maybe they're doing it out of need, because some of us believe there's a difference between crime of need and crime of greed. If you're involved in crime of greed, shame on you. If you're involved in crime of need, sometimes you might be excused, because if your baby is crying, you don't have money to feed the baby, you might do certain things. We understand those things, even though it's wrong. But those who have millions and who still steal millions more in a land of poor, no excuse for that. Okay? We're here to build a country together. Let's work together. That's what Diaspora Network Television is all about. Thank you, Mr. Kwabena Manu, a.k.a. Pancho, the unofficial mayor of New York City, Kwame Champong. Who nickname, I found out, they used to call him Ike. Man, and the Ike is the unofficial mayor of Houston, Texas. And my name is Jermaine Nkrumah.